All right, the last part of this class kick activity is being able to put equations in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to give you an equation, and I'm going to ask you to get it into slope-intercept form. So what does that mean? There's a couple things here I put down that you want to put in your notes. One, you want to get y by itself. Overall, big picture, that's what we're trying to do, get y by itself. So you're probably going to add or subtract first, depending on whether something is positive or negative. Okay? And then you're probably going to have to divide by a number, everything in the equation. At the end, it should look like y equals mx plus b. So again, overall big picture, I am trying to get y by itself. Now, you do not have these examples in your notes, so you're going to have to jot these down someplace where you can find a spot. So again, overall big picture, I'm trying to get it to look like this. Y equals mx plus b. So I want to get y to one side by itself. So in order to get y by itself, I've got to move this 3x first. Now 3x is a positive number, so I want to do the opposite. So I'm going to subtract 3x from each side of the equal sign. Notice, happens on the left side, has to happen on the right side. Now, when I do that, you'll notice I said you're more than likely you're always going to add or subtract first. What's going to happen here is my 3x's are gone because it's going to create a 0. So I've got 2y equals. And I'm always going to put my negative 3x first because I can't subtract 14 and 3 because they're not like terms. So this is going to be negative 3x. So this is going to be negative 3x plus 14. Now, is y by itself? Well, no, there's still this 2 here. Well, how do I get rid of this 2? I'm going to divide by 2 on each side, but I'm going to do it on the left, and I'm going to divide everything by 2. Okay, so now these 2's go away, and y is now by itself. If 2 does not evenly go into the number above, I'm just going to leave it as a fraction. So this is going to be negative 3 halves x, and plus 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. So notice now this and this look very similar. Okay, my slope is going to be negative 3 over 2. That's m. And then my b is the order of pairs 0 and positive 7. Whatever this number is here is b, and whatever this number here is the m. So now I've gotten that equation in slope-intercept form. Again, get y by itself, so you're probably going to have to add or subtract first. Then you're going to have to divide everything. Let's go through one more example here. And we'll take a look at, let's take a look here at number 8, because number 8 is slightly different here. Okay, so I want to get y by itself. Again, overall big picture, trying to get it to look like this. So if I want to get y by itself, I've got to move this x first. Got to get him out of there. So in order to get him out of there, he's positive, so I'm going to have to subtract it. Now again, these guys are not like terms over here, so you cannot combine them. They're different things. This is an apple, that's an orange. You can't put them in the same basket and say they're apples. Okay, so that's not going to work for you. So I'm going to bring down the negative y. Those x's cancel out. Equals. Again, the x is always going to go first, so negative x and then minus 5. Okay, can't combine those because they're not like terms. Then, as we look at this, is y by itself? Well, no. Technically, there's a 1 in front here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this guy by negative 1, divide that by negative 1, divide that by negative 1. Divide everything by negative 1. Okay? So the negative 1's cancel, and I'm left with a y equals, essentially the negatives cancel, the negative 1's cancel, and I'm left with just an x or an x over 1, either way. And then negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. So now comes the challenge, because I want you to identify what is m and what is b. B is a little bit easier. B is the ordered pairs 0 and 5. Okay, that's always, again, this is always the b right here. Now, the m, you'll notice, well, there's no number in front of x, so I'm assuming some of you might think that's 0. That's incorrect, actually. The m is the number 1. Okay, there's one x there. There's always a number in front of a letter if there's no number there, and it always happens to be a 1. Okay? All right, so now you should be able to complete the third part of the 2-3 day 2 class kick examples using those 2 examples I've just given you here.